to the KaiserOst series, Season 2, Part 22. And well, as you can see, in the last episode there was a war in East Asia. As you can see, with all the puppets, changes in borders. But now, during this, there's this alliance. And this alliance is the African Unity League, which they're not a fan of because it claims to conquer all of Africa. And they have holdings in Africa. Well, puppets, and they don't want to lose their puppets in control. So, well, they arm themselves ready for war, with the borders being built up with troops from all corners of this alliance. It's imminent. It's only a matter of time until this war goes further, they say. With all these nations ready for war, they prepare on two fronts, with the South Front and North Front. The alliance gets divided into. Well, in the early days of this war, well, it goes really bad. With South Africa being all alone in the south, it doesn't really matter because there's that much in the north. But South Africa's front moving a tiny bit. Now in East Asia, not East Asia, in West Africa, they have Italian troops help a lot. German troops are kind of all over the front, with the Kaiser having returned a few episodes ago. Well, this is what the puppets in West Africa looks like, with Egypt launching an offensive south into actual land. So the help of the Turks, Indians, Russians, and Germans, they move forward, while the Italians focus on helping West Africa, which allows many advances, with two small counter-offensives happening, and one bigger one here, one here. Now their big one is against Egypt. During this time, they weaken their front line by not being focused on the right spot, which allowed the puppet of South Africa to make a nice advance. With India having arrived forces there, it helps out a lot. But it's mostly South Africa's work. They're trying to get nation status within the line. Into Central Africa, they started another offensive. Well, with more troops arriving to the front from the red team started to make better advances as they moved deeper down the coast near where Ethiopia would be, if it still existed, but except it's part of the Central African Union. And they're going to have some fun once this is over. Well, India decides it's their time to land in Madagascar, which quickly they do this, take part of the country over, a big chunk, take the tip of the country over, and then the country forcefully capitulates, with most troops either getting captured or getting back by sea to Mozambique. And 75% of the soldiers there were taken captive, 25 escaping. And well, the puppets, they're struggling in, because the puppets aren't doing the best fight because they were restricted in military strength, with Nigeria being invaded, and then comes surrender, realizing they're doomed on all fronts, with South Africa deciding to launch another offensive to push up into Mozambique, with the front line soon ending up like this. They make two counter-offensives. One over here, which fails. One over here fails. And then they make a third one, which also fails. With them now seeing this, with this war being decided to be launched up the coast to weaken their ability to get aid. It's very easy to defend this, which means no aid's getting in. South Africa is managing to launch offensives. Egypt is, and as well as the major powers in this alliance moving in, with Egypt and Sudan doing a lot of work despite being puppets, which at this point I don't know how they're going to stand the next 25. And well, they're in trouble. Launch an attempt to restore their glory. They do this, but that fails. And India decides to make a landing over here, which quickly Egypt, along with Germany, Russia, and Italy, managed to do this. And well, with all the country, basically this is all down to Turkey, India, Russia, Germany, Italy, Egypt, and well, South Africa. Well, as you can see, they're doing pretty well. The alliances, the Imperium, as they cut off all accesses by sea. Meaning the Democratic League has no opportunity to help them against this. Well, slowly but steadily, the front is closing in around them. As the front movement starts getting faster and faster, eventually they're there. Well, they end up like this. Unable to launch offensives at this point, too low in resources. Too well, famines, too well, yeah, this isn't going to end well. With them conquering it fully. Let's see how the peace treaty goes. First, we'll do a peace treaty with the puppets, which will be the Treaty of Lago. Let's see how it goes. They make Lagos free with southern Nigeria, northern Nigeria. Then they split the West African Union into two. West African Union and I guess we can call this Cote d'Ivoire. Well, Nigeria doesn't get puppeted, and you see these puppets weren't puppeted. So now let's see the peace treaty with itself. Egypt's excited to expand, although South Africa already did all of its expansion. So let's see how the peace treaty goes. Some land, Zambia is independent but split in two. Tanzania is independent minus the coast, which is a puppet. Kenya, Uganda is a puppet. Somalia is a puppet. Eritrea, Egypt expanded into the rest of Sudan. We can see Chad, Cameroon, and these nations are freed. But they also decide to give Egypt and South Africa nation status. But this might be a critical mistake. It might turn on them. Who knows? Well, as you can see, Ethiopia was split into three. We got Ethiopia. Then we got Somalia, inner Somalia. That's outer Somalia. We got Tigray. We got Eritrea. As you can see, I completely demolished the country. I decided to roller coaster it. And that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And hopefully you can get the 3,000 subscribers by next year. Bye, guys!